Listening in background noise is difficult for normal hearing listeners. However, background noise is ever more challenging for people with hearing loss. Due to the damage of the hair cells in their ear, people with a hearing loss have a harder time distinguishing speech when they are listening to situations that have a lot of background noise. One way to combat the issue of distinguishing speech and noise is a feature on many hearing aids called directionality. Directional systems all have 2 or more microphones separated by a specific distance on a hearing aid. The difference in the arrival time of sound to each of these microphones dictates how the hearing aid responds to the sound. In noisy situations, directional microphones focus on what is in front of the person, and the loudness of sounds coming from behind the person is reduced. It can help the hearing aid user hear and understand speech that is coming from the front. The most advanced directionality comes from using multiple microphones. With 2 or 3 microphones, the directionality is improved because of the shorter distance between microphones allows them to be hyper-selective about what sounds to cancel and which sounds to concentrate on. Directionality is important for hearing aid wearers because it is supposed to optimize their performance in noisy situations, which can be very challenging. Finding the right hearing aid solution can help people reconnect to the activities and the people they love. Ideally, directional microphones can be a part of this solution. Our patient today's name is Maura. She's been experiencing a lot of difficulty listening in noise. So I think what we're going to do today is test out her hearing aids and make sure that the directional microphone that we programmed is working appropriately. Let's go get her. Hey Maura.
Hi!
You ready?
I am ready.
Let's go.
First, we will review testing the validity of directional microphones in the test box. Before we begin with our test box measures, we connected our Unitron hearing aid to the software in order to properly program the hearing aid with directional microphones. In order to demonstrate more robust results, we narrowed the directionality beam in the software. Once calibration was complete, we coupled the Unitron T-MoxiFit RIC hearing aid to the VeriFit. It is possible to generate simultaneous frequency response output curves for 2 input signals that are presented simultaneously from different directions. By orienting the hearing aid microphone ports in the test box so that one of the input signal speakers is front-facing, 0 degrees azimuth, the other speaker will then occupy a secondary or jamming input signal orientation. Thus, directionality can be tested. Next, we selected directionality in the test box on the VeriFit in order to test the directional microphones. There are 2 input signal options available. We selected the speech noise signal, where the front speaker output is speech and the jamming speaker output is noise. Through a structured alternating measurement paradigm, the aided output for front and back jamming speaker input signals can be measured and displayed independently. When these 2 output curves overlap, an omnidirectional condition is present. When these 2 curves separate, with the output for the back jamming signal less intense than the output for the front signal, a directional condition is present. You can see on the VeriFit screen the alternation between the omnidirectional and directional conditions. The thick green curve represents the output that is being recorded at the coupler microphone for the signal that is coming from the 0 degree azimuth front speaker in the test chamber. The second thin green curve represents the output for the signal that is coming from the back jamming speaker. These 2 curves separated substantially when the directional microphone capability was activated. We can clearly see that once the directional microphone has been activated, there is a significant favoring for output for signals coming from the front of the hearing instrument versus signals coming from the back jamming direction.
Next, we will demonstrate directional capability on a patient. First, we prepared the probe tube by measuring it to the appropriate length and calibrating it. Next, we prepared the patient for a speech map by performing otoscopy, inserting the probe tube, and then positioning the patient appropriately in front of the VeriFit. One option for verifying directionality with the VeriFit is the directional on-ear option. This method requires the forward speaker on the VeriFit as well as a secondary speaker positioned behind the patient. We will be demonstrating an alternative method to test for directionality that doesn't need a secondary speaker if you do not have one available to you. With the patient facing the VeriFit speaker, run a speech map using pink noise at a level above 70 dB. In this instance, we presented the pink noise at 75 dB. Record the speech map and turn the patient around so that they are 180 degrees azimuth from the speaker. This works best with a chair that can be easily rotated. Next, record another speech map with the patient in this position. Again, use pink noise and record at the same sound level as before. In this condition, it's especially important to allow the pink noise to run for at least 15 seconds in order to allow the directional microphone enough time to kick in and attenuate the sound. Once the curve has stabilized, hit record. What you're left with is two curves. The difference between the two curves demonstrates the difference of output when directionality takes an effect. As you can see, when the noise is behind the patient, the hearing aid enables directionality in order to attenuate the noise behind the patient and therefore enabling them to hear sound directly in front of them better.
In order to have patients effectively utilize this feature in real-world settings, counseling is vital. You should instruct the patient to sit with their back to the noise and to face the speaker that they want to hear. Directional microphones only give benefit if there is separation of the speech and the noise.